Hello, everyone, again. Welcome back to the Creating New Realities podcast that I have recently rebranded to the True North podcast, which you will hear more about in another episode. Today is all about my dear friend and someone who I admire as such like a beautiful soul. Carissa Dorado is one of the most amazing women I think I've ever met. And we have had all these like crossing points where we've met each other both in the quantum field and here in some business structures. And I'm just in love and enthralled with who she is as a person. And so I'm so glad to welcome you today, Carissa. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you for having me. What a beautiful intro. Like, I just gotta live up to that now. Okay.
You're already there. You already did all that. Just speaking truth.
Of course. Oh, too good.
Carissa is a psychic business advisor, and she does some really beautiful business oracle work. She helps women both with their financial abundance, their financial blueprint, their energetic blueprint for their businesses and their companies. And especially with the experience that I went through with her with an energetic session, like you are like so talented on so many levels, but does a beautiful energetic clearings and helps you really amplify what you're trying to birth. And I'm just thrilled that you're here. So I would
Oh,
love to ask you first and foremost, like, how did you
yes.
stumble upon your gifts that then you brought into like helping women with
Oh,
their businesses?
that's such a good question. Okay, so it's gonna be like a roundabout, but I promise I'll get you there. Okay. So the first thing is like I always look at like I'm gonna say meta skills, right? Like what's a thing that I can learn that like amplifies everything? Right. And I was like, okay. So when I got into that space, I was Reiki already. I think I was a Reiki master. And I was like, oh, the skill that like I knew was kind of back there that I was like, we're gonna amplify this shit is my psychic abilities. And so I actually went for private mentoring and was able to up level my psychic abilities, which helped me across the board because I run three different businesses. So like and my landlord and my real estate empire and everything like huge. And then within, I also have a mortgage loan officer. I'm semi-retired, and that's super like that played so well there. But then even the work that you just spoke into, just being like that psychic ability really helps us like see the big picture. And that's something that to me is like that is priceless. That is a meta skill. If you can see the whole picture of what's going on, holy F, right?
Yeah.
So I looked at it as like, oh my gosh, I was doing Reiki and I was doing some things and I was like, oh, this is so much fun. And then it clicked in. I was like, oh, we can actually like meta skill this out and we can like go be potent as AF. So yeah, that's essentially where I was just invested in an area which I knew was a meta skill that would get me through like it's a skill that brought me through every other skill. So I went and got it trained, but I did have like, like it was kind of sitting back there as well too. But it honestly didn't come out until I was Reiki. I was not born. Like people are like, oh my gosh, I've been psychic since I'm 6. I wish that was me. I had to go pay somebody to go like, let's pull this out of you, which is really cool. I'm not saying that there wasn't some inklings back there, like, yeah, but like I literally invested in myself and I was like, that's a skill that's going to pay me dividends. So it's just a really good investment that I made in myself about 6 years ago.
Amazing. And I can like I've only known you for about a year, maybe a little bit longer because of the mutual program that we were in. But how did that like so knowing how you're kind of pivoting and like anchoring that in most especially right now, how did that change from like your trajectory from when you first started doing this energetic business model to then like really honing into the psychic business advisorship?
Yeah, that's such a good question. So essentially, I started to connect the dots of putting spiritual together with business. Because originally, when I came into this space, especially be starting off as a Reiki practitioner, I learned what we would maybe call like a soft skill. And not saying Reiki, please don't think like, but it's like it's a skill, right? And then I was like, oh my goodness gracious, I'm not a healer. Wait a minute, we have a whole different skill set behind here. So like I came into it of like, oh, this is super cool. I knew what was going on as well too. I'll make this make sense because I look at success being skills, knowledge, and experience. And I knew that like there's a bigger thing behind me. And I knew it wasn't quite ready to be birthed yet. And I knew there was a path and a trajectory. And ultimately, it's just like, hey, bitch, go get some skills, knowledge, and experience. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll put myself out there as a healer, right? Move myself through that and start to get the skills, knowledge, and experience while I also knew I had something bigger being birthed through me. So I looked at it as just a place to house again, a set of skills that I could take on to me to the next set of trajectory. And like, I mean, like putting yourself out there is a huge thing. And like, I am so grateful that I started where I started, because by the time I'm like, oh my gosh, my son is graduating high school in 18 months, and then I'm going full retire, and then I'm just going to do whatever the F I want, which I mean, I kind of already do anyway.
Yeah,
But to me, it's just like, how many skills, knowledge, and experience can I pack in between now and him graduating? And then we're going to go blow the whole lid off from it, only because I'm stuck here in New York until that. But it doesn't mean I don't travel between I have other locations. I actually have a homestead in New Hampshire that I love, 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 and a house in Costa Rica that I'm in often. So I still bounce around a lot, but like really it's like, okay, I've got 18 more months, and it's like, how much more skills, knowledge, experience can we pack in? So we knew the trajectory was, we're pulling the parachute. And like, how many things can we stack in there before? And we know we're birthing something bigger, but we're just kind of layering things so that by the time it's like, oh, it fully bubbled through, I'm already like running. And I don't mean running is running, but like I'm already in my divine feminine flow. I'm already like in the ticks of it. So there's your long answer.
That is, I'm so inspired. So many questions. I like, what a beautiful model for women to like, we have put so much pressure on ourselves to like operate in this masculine way and operate a masculine business. Like, oh, everything has to be done now and you can't start until you're perfect, until it's there. Like what a way, like what a process of discovery for yourself. And then teaching other women that this like cocoon, chrysalis, incubation period, germination is so important when you are developing something so much bigger than what you can currently see.
Absolutely. A little comment in there. I actually teach all my favorite F's: fail forward so fucking fast and flow.
My Virgo doesn't like that, but my Scorpio does. Like I really, really want to be in that kind of mindset.
Doesn't mean that's the thing, right? But a lot of times it's the perfection. So to me, it's just like fail fucking forward as quick as you can, because I just got to bang in some skills, knowledge, and experience and success. Like I'm already paving the way. Like to me, success leaves clues. Like you can do all the like, you know what I mean? Like it's just a whole bunch of skills, knowledge, and experience. I just happen to have a whole lot of skills, knowledge, and experience in finance and sales. And then like, oh, by the way, I'm a psychic. And oh, by the way, I'm a healer. And it's like, oh shit. So it's like a major in business and a minor in healing. So it's just, it's a little different. So it's like, just when in doubt, throttle out.
I love that. I think that's going to be the title of this whole interview.
I love it. I think that's where people get all in their OODA loop. Like it's all data. It really is all data. The universe is just giving us data back, and we take it personally. So often it's not meant to be personal. Business is business, which means pivot until you start like, oh, this is it. Oh, not quite it. Oh, this is it. Like people have a vision, but until like that vision doesn't start to, like you said, crystallize, until we start getting you movement, because a lot of times it's almost like figuring out what's not it gets us so much closer to it. So if I can get a woman or get a business owner into like a branch of their business that like we can like 10x, and we start to go forward with it, and you're like, whoa, 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 the data isn't quite like there. Like we've got to go back and just look at the data and then pivot. And then that unlocks the next thing. So a lot of times people just take things so personal, but really it's data and pivot, pivot. Pivot to me is like what makes a business owner a good business owner, because it's like, for me, what we said, like, I knew there was something big back here, right? But it really is pivot, pivot until it unlocks. But in the meantime, let's just get some skills, knowledge, experience, and fail forward so fucking fast and flow that like, we don't know what's going on back there.
I love it. Yeah. I imagine that you help. I mean, I know how you've helped with me. Like we've had some beautiful stuff. But when you typically work with women, then that you help them, like what I can see is like you help them up in the 5D, you get their vision, you get like real clarity on what wants to come through. And then you help like bring it into the 3D, and then you help them tweak it enough until they can carry it forward. Is that
You
accurate?
100% nailed it. I'll fill in maybe a little bit, but like, yes. So I always start off with a business psychic reading because I've got to be able to see the whole board game. Because if I don't know what's actually going on, the whole thing, I can't advise properly. And I'm not, you need advisory from like everybody's so multidimensional, right? And the other, like what you just said, but the other thing too is a lot of people hold secrets. And so a lot of times you're coming and you're hanging out with somebody and they're like, oh, like spend money in this XYZ. And they don't realize that you're holding on to like these really big secrets, or you're holding on to these really big patterns. And those secrets and those patterns and all those like background things will like get us all like, ugh. So if I can come in and go, okay, whole board game, and I know that you're somebody who's got a lot of go in you, right? Like then game on, then I put you into like, we build out a whole thing. So at the whole thing, I get so excited talking about it. Right. So the whole thing is like, okay, this is your life. This is what you want to do with your life. This is how you want your typical day to work. This is like all the components that like nobody's asking you. We figure out all the secret things back there that you're not telling anybody else. All good. Everybody's got them, I promise. And then from there, we actually put together a plan that's like, well, this is roughly it. And then this is roughly a script, and this is roughly your websites, and this is roughly like all the things. And then this is my favorite part, because this is the thing that like really like, and it's not perfect. What happens is you actually have to go live it and breathe it and move it around, and you're like, you know what, that thing about this niche that you said I'm in, it's actually horrible and those people are mean and I want to do it. And you're like, understood, that's data. Now let's go ahead and readjust a little bit. So it's like taking that like vision and then bringing it into an actual business model where you get paid. I think that's where people kind of like, hey, I need you to get paid, really big on the list, super important. And then here's the business model that supports it. And then here's the actual like funnel and the trajectory and like all the assets that support it. And you got to go out into the world, use it, and then pivot and then make it like, and then as soon as it locks in, it's just, it locks in. But so many folks are holding on to things like what you said. Like a lot of times it's like they're holding on to things. Like we got to kind of clear the space before we can start putting things in. Like I have a lot of women who are going through divorces, or I have a lot of folks who've got like XYZ going on. So it's not just like, hey, business, it's also like maybe there's some financial cleanup. Hey, by the way, I'm an expert in that. Hey, how do I actually make money? That's way different than a whole different thing. I've seen thousands of credit reports, thousands of tax returns, thousands of corps, thousands of K1s. Like how people actually think you make money is not the way that actual people who make money. And by golly, we know who's miserable and who is fun as fuck. And you're like, oh, you're fun as fuck and you're making a shit ton of money. Like, what are you up to? And then it's like, oh, I see what you're doing. It's all that 20 years of experience kind of back there that you're just like, whoa, like they actually don't make money the way that people claim they make money. They make money a different way, and people aren't forthcoming about that. And it drives me bonkers. Like I'll see people advertise one thing and I'm like, I know you're actually not doing money in that space. I know that you're licensing and franchising and you're doing a whole bunch of other things, but yet you're doing something over here. So like, just know there's a lot of like, at the root of it, it's about making money. And most people aren't picking the right money models. They're picking what people are like shiny advertisement kind of a thing. And it's like, those folks actually aren't even making money that way.
Huh.
So just dirty little secrets of the industry.
Yeah, there's some rabbit holes, I'm sure. My brain's like, okay, do I want to go on this one, down this rabbit hole? But I love that you're teaching women, because we aren't institutionally taught how to earn money. And then if you do have money, manage it, be sovereign, be self-sufficient. Like I'm all about like equal partnerships, and that kind of stuff. But like there's nothing in the world that there's so much more conditioning and programming that says that we shouldn't be making money. And that's what we're raised with. It's changing now, absolutely, but we're still not taught the skills.
Yes.
So I love that that's a missing gap that you're feeling for people.
Yes, 100%. Like we actually have to start with the money and then build a business around the monies and then put it together. So a lot of times people are like business and like, maybe this is how I'm going to make money through this container, that container, XYZ versus like, nope, this is actually how you are going to start to receive money. Like, what is the closest thing next to the money? And then let's start reverse engineering all of it. And it's usually like 3 different plays at one time, because we usually have to do a short-term play and then we normally have to do a long-term play. So normally it's like open up 2 things. And then, by the way, there's a whole bunch of things that are on the table, but we're not quite sure how like the first few things are going to go, and then we'll reconvene. So this is playing the small board game versus playing the big board game of life, which is again what you had said as well too, the multidimensional, and like, oh, by the way, you're a human living in the 3D world, you have to touch money.
Yeah.
And we as a society said that money is like the thing, so of course it's going to be the thing that trips us all the fuck up. So to me it's like, I might as well go right for the humdinger. You know what I mean? Like, let's go for the money and let's do it the way that us conscious spiritual folks want to. Because when more conscious awakened entrepreneurs have money in their hand, holy F, because we're going to spend money on things that align with our values. That's way different than folks with money spending money on things that aren't of our value. And to me, it's like the more money we can start flushing through these conscious entrepreneurs, the more we can actually start healing the weapon that was used against us.
Full body chills, sister. Amazing. Yeah.
It's just a weapon. It's just, like, it could be beans. It's just we as a society said like it's important, so we get all like icky, like weird and gross about it. Versus like, no, to me, business is the ultimate spiritual practice, because I'm putting more time into that than I am going to work out. So like, I'm just going to combine them together, and we're just going to go throttle out of this.
Yeah. And it's energy. And look at, I mean, to the people who are watching, like, look at Carissa's energy. You are exuberant, you're alive, and you're talking about money. That is part and parcel of the same thing.
Yeah.
And when we do feel so like, like money has been weaponized against us through all kinds, the debt system, even the social security number system, everything. We're enslaved to live on earth. Like, it makes no freaking sense when you actually like break it down. And so for people that need to like change their money mindset, it's energy and how much energy you're allowing to flow in and out of your life. And hoarding doesn't work. And, blocking that flow in any kind of way doesn't work. And what I can see you being so like gifted at is helping people to shift the mindset, is like, you have to take risks in order to invite that in and what you're going for. But like you're doing it in such a grounded way that I see it so like fundamental.
Absolutely. It's the structure. So a lot of times I'll find women who are moving very expensive furniture around when the beams of the house are on fire and the foundation is cracking and it's flooded. And you're like, no, honey, it's actually a broken masculine. Everybody teaches us to try to drop into our divine feminine, but the divine feminine cannot open and drop into flow unless you have a masculine that is completely like, I'm going to go on a tiny little tangent. You have to bear with it. So most everybody, when we talk about internal masculine feminine balance, it's usually not 50-50. And this is just, take it for what it's worth. This is my experience. I'm not counter exceeding your experience. But normally, in order to have the divine feminine flow, which I refer to as the egg, and we have the masculine, which is the sperm, right? We need a balance. And that balance tends to be around 70 to 80% feminine for women, and men for usually 70-60. And then on the counterpart, how much sperm energy or how much masculine, right? So we're looking at 20 to 30% masculine energy, and then 70 to 80% divine feminine, the egg energy. And so when we start to look at like, holy F, your sperm energy, your masculine, you were taught to dominate, you were taught to restrict, you were taught to punish yourself, you were taught like all these gross, nasty things of like how you actually internally respond to your own internal masculine, but also the masculine structure. So most of us accidentally got put on this earth in this human flesh suit with a broken masculine. And then you're like, well, go ahead and put divine feminine flow in there. And you're like, no, we can't put divine feminine flow into a broken masculine. So once we start to like, oh, I'm not going to dominate money. I'm not going to be shamed about money. I'm not going to like add all this extra gross ickiness about money. We start to take all that back off the table. We start to just look at like an actual sacred masculine internal space, like a sperm energy, and then also has this beautiful divine feminine flow. You can actually drop into the divine feminine flow when the masculine structure doesn't have cracks in it.
Exactly. And you teach both sides of that. And it's so like, I always having this experience I was telling you about with my coach, like
Yeah.
we created the structure for my company, and I can see it being so similar to this, but like I for the first time in 5 years since trying to like think up and lead from my head and this is what I want and heart and this all this stuff, but I didn't
Yeah.
have the actual structure. And now that we've put that together, it's like, oh, I can relax into that and know that I don't have to get it figured out right this second because no one's
Yes,
creating what I'm creating. You know what I mean? So it's like I
exactly.
don't have any like guidance on this besides like what I am
Yeah.
is trying to be birthed, but I
It,
can't do it without the structure of it.
yeah.
And it's so important. And so the fact that you teach both of these, and then I want to get into like what kind of containers you offer these in, but like
Yes.
you give such a holistic business model for women who just need to step into their abundance, prosperity, fix the cracks in their foundation to really like up level.
Yeah, 100%. You nailed it. Yeah, it's a thing that I see across the board because people are accidentally buying like shiny objects. By the time a beautiful business owner gets to me, they tend to have like already spent shit tons of money on things that don't work. I know I've brought up that. And
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not knocking it because I made that investment. That was my choice and I ran it to its utmost possibility. However, by the time all these beautiful entrepreneurs get to me, they're usually spending tons of money on things that don't work because, again, the structure, that masculine, they're buying a strategy that doesn't actually factor into their secrets, their patterns, their masculine, the thing that actually supports them, all the things. And then
Yeah.
if you get all like, oh, somebody can actually see the whole big board game. Oh, you actually don't have to have it all figured out. You have to have these rough things ready to go. And I want you to make these 2 or 3 plays so that way we can go figure out how these other things are actually going to like work themselves out. It's the
Yeah.
beauty of it is you're not supposed to have it all figured out. But when you
Oh,
don't have a broken
yeah.
masculine, you don't get that. And
Yeah.
it makes sense when you have somebody going, oh, I can see all your shit. Hold tight. And then just do
Yeah.
this. You're good.
And how amazing because we get so stuck on it has to be a certain way or we have to be perfect at it or it has to
Yeah.
be there's very few voices in this industry about this co-creative process that you are co-creating with the universe as you go.
Oh my
You don't have to
God.
have it all figured out.
No, I don't want you to. We want the universe to do the heavy lifting and the universe is going to point the way, but you would have to be able to surrender into it. And you cannot surrender into that shit when you have a broken masculine and you're trying to like do this through the scarcity, gross, icky way that they taught us to do business.
Yeah.
They taught us to do business wrong. And those motherfuckers in the background are actually running around and doing business differently than the way that they're teaching us. And it drives me bonkers. Sorry.
It's
I
okay.
don't mean to
Topic
get
for
fired up,
another
but it drives me
podcast.
bonkers.
No. The rabbit holes of the elite.
I know. Oh, don't get me going. Like I could
Yeah.
do.
Same.
Oh,
Oh, good.
drives me nuts.
I love it though, and I love, yeah. So you offer multiple different containers. I will be down with you in Costa Rica. If not
Yes.
this year, next year for sure, or something. But I want to, yeah, share a little bit about what kind of containers you kind of put
Oh my
out.
gosh. I love that. Yes. There's so much support here for you. The biggest thing is we got to start off with a psychic business reading, as I meant, like I got to be able to see what's going on. But then from there, and I don't recommend my services to everybody, so just, bear with it. So the folks that have an invitation, there would be an invitation to a VIP day. And really what it is 2 half days where we basically nail out your whole business and I give you all the things that you needed to get you movement on top of a business structure, on top of a business model. Sometimes I'm even able to do website copy, script calls, DMs, like the whole thing, but every person's different. So I don't want to say like, oh, that's just what I do in a VIP day. But a VIP day too also includes some of the services that you've gone through of like clearing the way out as well too. So it's really just everybody's individual needs. I'll take you exactly where you are. We'll run a whole system with assets and actual walking away assets. And then after that, you go do it. Now, if you don't want to do it on your own, because that's usually where people mess up, is I have a container in which we help support you. And so we would go through that as well too. Now the container, 6-month container, right? All the support one might need. That's one aftermath. Second aftermath is you can come hang out with me at my house in Costa Rica and I get my hands on you and your business plan and like, oh, the special place that I have. I have the most amazing story about the place where I am in Costa Rica. It found me very specifically. That's how like the divine does this shit. That spot found me for a very specific reason. I know why. You come to Costa Rica and you'll know why.
Wow.
However, we can combine the two as well too. To me, it's like, why not start off a 6-month container with a bang and a week in Costa Rica where we have so much fucking fun on top of doing all the things that you need to do, and we're going to talk business and we're going to laugh and giggle the whole time. Like, I just love it. I get really excited. So yes, ultimately it's a, hey, let's get you a freaking plan that actually works for you, that somebody can see the whole freaking thing. And hey, do you want support actually executing it? Because the execution is key.
Yeah.
Key.
Yeah.
And my program tackles both the energetic and the actual implementation. Not necessarily like I support regardless of all the things going on in life. I've helped women through like divorces and doing business. And I mean, I've got some crazy, like lives while you're doing business, right? I've got some crazy stories of people still like a concept to cash in 21 days while she was going through crazy ex-husband child situation that literally, if I told you, you would ball up on the floor and start crying. And she's like, and I just went from concept to cash in 21 days. How the fuck do I hold those two things? And I'm like, holy fuck. And life's, and we're still going to do both.
Yeah.
We've got a really big thing over here and you're fucking crushing it in your business. Like, and we're going to look at both of those together because this is life. That's why I do like life, wealth, and business. It's all together, like the whole thing. We got to know the whole thing. Yeah, sorry. I keep going on tangents on you.
No, I love that. I mean, and you're
Okay.
speaking, and also you're speaking to like as you raise up and do things different ways and install essentially like new
Yes.
operating systems, old things do have to fall apart and
Yeah.
rearrange themselves, whether they're falling away or they're just being, reorganized. But it's such like this dual thing that we have to somewhat expect that a little bit. And it sounds like you help people stay grounded with one foot in both fields,
Exactly.
so that they can continue forward. And what a beautiful like way of supporting people, because a lot of people only do the energetics, a lot of people only do the business structure. To do them both and to hold people through that experience, that's sacred work, girl.
I agree. And I fucking love doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I love it.
You love
Like,
doing it. Yeah.
like life is lifing. Like I get it. I came from like a really like crazy situation because I accidentally found myself in a marriage in a codependent relationship with a closet codependent person. And so to get myself out of that and then to move myself into like that was a long time ago, and then to become a landlord on myself and then to be in sales and then to build a business, like I'm literally like I made it through, and sure, like it took me a long time. And I can do this so much quicker. To me, it would be rude of me to not.
Yeah.
And like the universe is like, duh. But like that's how I'm like, this is so much fun. And it would be like rude of me to withhold all of this when like it's literally like I said with like it's my zone of genius. I love it. It's my zone of genius and I live through it. I can get you there sure as fuck a lot quicker than I did. And we can see the whole thing. So it makes me so excited because I know what it's like on the other side because I've helped so many folks on the other side to know what it's like to go from like spinning, I don't know what's going on, living in like a little cage of like, holy fuck, I'm trapped, to like, holy fuck, the inside feels like heaven on earth and there's money in my bank account and I'm super excited when I get up in the morning and like all these pieces.
Yeah.
It's a freaking game changer.
Yeah. And every single person on earth deserves to feel that.
100%. And until we take our space back and we take the weapon that was used against us back, aka money, and then we go into the business space, that's how this changes. This is how we raise the consciousness of wealth and we raise the consciousness of the earth. So to me, it's almost like you owe it to the universe.
Yeah.
To the conscious collective. If nobody else, if you need like a little push as to why you should do it, your kids are watching, your grandkids are watching, the whole thing. I just did a session with a 72-year-old lady and she's like, I don't know if I have it in me. And I was like, you got grandkids, girl. They're watching. Is grandma going down as an epic grandma or is grandma going down in a wheelchair? And please don't think I actually said it that way. I'm just being very dramatic. Just
no, but you're inspiring that,
but
the excellence in her to like, you're still here. You have a legacy. Yeah.
Yeah. Why give up?
Yeah.
And especially, and this kind of speaks to what we were talking about before, is she excuse me, she invested tons of money into the thing. She finally got it to the point where it's like ready to go. Her little girl started kicking up. That little 4-year-old CEO started showing up, and she started showing me some things. And I was like, oh my God, girl, you're attracting, like, I'll refer to it as what we'll say bad boyfriends, essentially clients that were bad boyfriends. I'm like, you are literally building a funnel that attracts bad boyfriends.
Whoa.
No. But if we're going to do this, let's do it for like marriage material. We're not building this for bad boyfriends. We're going right for what you need.
Yeah.
And what her 4-year-old little girl that was running the business was accidentally like marketing and talking and doing things that ultimately just got her a whole bunch of duds. And you're like, you want peak performance, high octane folks.
Yeah.
That's way different.
Yeah.
You got to speak their language. Stop attracting bad boyfriends.
Yeah. Oh, fascinating.
Terrible analogy, but you know.
I want to be a fly on the wall of your business.
Oh my gosh. I know I
action,
started doing case studies in my Facebook group because I like, this is so intriguing. And to me, like, part of what I do with my container as well too is like the container is a group container. So what you see in you, other folks see in themselves, and you're like, oh my gosh, when I'm doing the thing, like literally, like the coaching is like, you just answered all of my questions, like you just over here, but now I can see this other thing because you just, and like, wait, I have that. And like, but a lot of times it's actually easier to see things when it's not directly like pointed at you. So exactly what you said. And I actually just started like, oh yes, we're going to start doing case studies now. Of course, everything is anonymous. I don't rat anybody out, but these are things to be aware of. Nobody's pointing out these like, hey, by the way, you've got a 4-year-old CEO who's causing all kinds of freaking problems. You just invested a shit ton of money. It's finally your time to hit the gas pedal. And she shows up and she's trying to burn it down. And she's trying to bring in a whole bunch of bad fucking boyfriends. Absolutely not. You only build your business out for marriage material, and that's all you want to attract. You attract high performance folks. You do not attract duds.
Amazing.
Duds complain. They
Yeah.
don't pie and they do all kinds of time wasting shit. Yeah.
Wow. Sign me up for that next one. Yeah.
Okay.
How do people find you? What's the best way to connect with you?
I would say come to my website or find me on Facebook, either way. But my website is my first name, last name, and the same thing on Facebook. Like, let's be friends. Let's see if it makes sense to like take a look at all this stuff you got going around on there.
I
And
think
a lot
that's
of
how we
times,
met.
I think so too.
On
Yeah.
Facebook, because it's so
And I got
silly.
oh, I meet such cool people on Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it. Yeah, as a woman who bounces all over the earth, I'm like, I don't know. We make all kinds of friends on Facebook.
Yeah. The world connects us. I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Any parting words of wisdom? The theme of the show is True North and creating new realities through our mission and our purpose. And that's like 1,000% who you are and what you do. If you were to give somebody listening one nugget more of wisdom of why they should get started on doing their life and doing their mission and stop saying no to what's not in alignment, like what's one thing you would say to them when they're ready?
Oh, that's such a beautiful question. I would say fire the bitch that put you in this position, and that's you. It's time. It's time to back yourself. It's time to go do the thing. It's time to stop being stuck. Time to stop buying shiny objects. It's time to stop buying money and trying to fix problems. We don't fix problems. We build a structure that supports the most beautiful divine feminine part of you. And then we go allow her to go make money. And so the version of you who's not making money, who's got a broken masculine, who's allowed this shit to happen, said with love, let's fire that bitch.
Love it.
Yeah.
Feels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. It's been an honor always. And yeah, we'll see everyone next time.